Yes.
Welcome, everyone, to Mindful Leadership Beyond Borders. This is Betska, the Guru Coach, together with my co-host, Raj Vashisht from Delhi, India. I'm from Canada, and our delightful guests today are Gill and Clay Ross, also from Canada, from Vancouver Island. And we have some delightful topics to cover with you today. But let me introduce you to these gems first. And I'm going to read their bio because they wrote it. And it's delightful the way it's written. Capturing the natural world through photography has been and continues to be our greatest joy. Though both of us were born in South Africa, our formative years were spent in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe. It was only in our last 6 months there that we acquired a serious SLR camera. A passion for travel was what attracted us to each other 58 years ago. They've been married a long time, Raj.
Congrats.
Congratulations, yeah.
It's a
And have
milestone
you,
journey.
what's that? Sorry?
They both are blessed and lucky together. It's
Yeah,
not
no
easy.
kidding. Yeah, they really are. And so their relationship has yielded an infinite array of fascinating images with it as we progressed from film to digital cameras. I remember film even, that was a long time ago. And whether majestic landscapes, exotic wildlife, or agricultural scenes, we attempt to bring a unique perspective to every photo. In 1981, they moved from Africa to Canada, where our careers gave us both opportunities to continue photography. Several agricultural magazines have used their images in publications and show display banners. We are also under contract for several years to photograph non-professional rodeos. A travel company even gave us a trip to India, Raj. They
Wow.
gave them a trip to India to ascertain the possibilities for photographic tours there. So, folks, we have lots to discuss around the beauty and power of photography. And one of the comments on their bio is this: photography is a great stimulant for an aging brain. Aha. So maybe that'll come up in our conversation. Raj, you don't have to worry about an aging brain yet, but some of us others do. So, Jill and Clay, what makes photography so appealing to you?
What makes it so appealing is whenever you go out, you may think you know what you're going to photograph, but life has a way of surprising you what you can capture and learn. So it's a never-ending lesson in the wonders of life.
Mm-hmm.
Especially photographing animals. You can go there looking for something big to photograph, a deer or something like that, and you'll end up that the birds are prolific, the song, the sound, and then you change to that. And with us, what has made it, especially the bird photography, is to capture the detail. And that's a challenge, because that challenge goes back to the computer when you're finished. Taking the photograph is the small part of the beginning. It's then going back to the computer and challenging yourself technically to improve that product. So it's a round sphere of creativity.
I remember Jill was telling me once that you take the photo, and then when you get back to your office, you're looking at the photographs and you see so much more.
Yes. Yes, and often too, you come back and you might have a good photograph or a mediocre photograph, but then you want more. So it encourages you to go back and take the same subject again and to get a better image. So you're testing yourself. And there's times when you go out and you'll get nothing, but you've enjoyed it because you've been out, you've been in the country, and that's the stimulus there. It's just to be out and away, to move, to be challenged. Photography embrace it all, and it's also too, it's non-age restricted. no matter what your age or handicap, you can do photography. You've got to have the equipment. That's the one thing that you do have to have. And after that, it's between you and the subject. The camera is just a vessel which you store the images on. And then afterwards, it's up to you. First, you've got to find the images, and then you've got to develop the images. So it's a multifaceted thing.
Just our conversation has brought forward a thought that I love reading about, and whenever Wildlife Canada or something publishes some photographs, I'm reading it. I love to see the photographs, and the ones that intrigue me. I mean, they all intrigue me, but about the photographers who will go out into nature, and they'll spend days trying to get one shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like of a polar bear giving birth or something. I mean, that's amazing, don't you think?
It is amazing, and there's so often, we'll go back to Africa. You think you're going to go and photograph a lion. Well, lions sleep for 23 hours a day. How boring can a subject matter be?
That's too funny.
But the little dung beetle on the floor rolling up dung to bury in the ground to improve the quality of soil is much more interesting than a sleeping lion.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
So to us, it's a constant challenge of what did we find today? And whether you went out there to frogs or fish or something bigger, you'd always find something completely unrelated that's interesting. So it's a challenge.
Yeah. Yes. Yesterday I was reading an article about this little green frog. And I know we've got green frogs in our pond garden across the way. This one was green and brown. And it was, it's going extinct. And so I just had the thought that how powerful photography is for capturing, creatures that could be extinct.
Yes.
Oh, it's sad to think. It's sad to think that they might not be around in the future, but they're just delightful. I love when they come and play with me. So how did you go ahead, Raj?
One point I'm adding you in Africa, I have read one news last 2 years before. Two photographers from Eastern Europe. They're very good photographer. They always love photography and adventure and creativity. So they spend so much time in Africa continent. So life is also danger sometimes. So they both killed by some tribals or like different kind of jungle people due to some confusion or some sort of things. So this is also not easy job. It's a very dangerous job sometimes.
They got killed by them?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's really sad.
But is that any different than a photographer going into some slum area and getting killed?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But Raj,
Yeah.
going back to India, we had a wonderful guide. And yes, he took us to all your important, temples and monuments and stuff like that, which were very, very impressive. But he took us out into the slum areas at night with our expensive cameras. And not once did we feel threatened. We had a wonderful experience going down these little alleyways and photographing people trying to make a living, making shoes, pans, whatever. It was an incredible experience.
And this was at midnight or late in the night. Deliberately, my request to our guide was we want to go and see the slums, the dirtiest, filthiest, the most probable place where there's going to be humans living in poor conditions. And the hospitality shown to us by those people down there was second to none. We never found at any one stage to be threatened. They were cordial, greeted us, and we felt completely at home. And, a camera brings out the best side of people. You take pictures of different tradespeople working in the tins or shoes, and they were only too pleased to show you their trade and their product. We got some phenomenal pictures where we didn't know what we were going to expect. It was a complete and utter pleasant surprise. And then in the day,
Wow.
it's different. You will
Actually,
take,
I'm telling you about India. Whenever you go village area, tribal area, slum area, people will not harm you if you do photography. They feel happy because they
Yeah.
thought you are giving so much importance for these
yeah,
people
Ah,
because
okay, okay.
they don't get this kind of opportunity. So they thought because someone from foreign country coming for photo shoot, so they feel happy and even they will give you welcome. They will not snatch your expensive camera also.
Mm,
They will not snatch because they don't concern because they and here. But now these days might be some time is changing. I have
Mhm.
heard some outskirt area uh, last year they harmed some people and they
oh,
looted.
mm,
Because the situation is now this is international level changing. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
but not but here we are still very safe compared to other part.
Hmm.
In India, if you moving out also night and you are not going like some dangerous area, you are safe. You can walk
Mm,
to night
mm.
12, 1, 2, 3, no problem.
What a fascinating set of photographs to look at
We'll
that
show
you
you
took
one
in.
today.
Yeah, oh my gosh. That's really very, very interesting to see another side of life. Yeah,
Hmm.
you
yeah.
see, coming from the cattle industry, Raj, I was in the cattle industry for over 40 years.
Oh my gosh.
Mm,
So into India, cattle is a lot of cattle in India. And the Brahma tribe, no, the Brahma breed is very popular in Southern Africa. So our guide took us to see an Indian farmer. And of course, there was interpretation, and they found out that I was in cattle and they had cattle. And he said, "Oh, come and you can see my relative down the road." And we went all over the places that you would never go as a tourist, never. And we saw dairy cows, Brahma dairy cows, which I've never seen before. And then the beef producing, how they make bricks, big business. And the
mm,
family was only too pleased to show us the professions. So
mm,
we got to see a part of India which most tourists wouldn't see. Was our guide. He was a very good guide. He said, "Oh, that's what you want to see. I'll take you somewhere else." And we did a lot of traveling in the rural areas, which is India. That's the population.
right, right.
So, and photography, of course, photography and traveling, it's one and one.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure, for sure. So tell us about some of your more, tell us more about more of your exciting photo shoots. You just discussed India. Let's talk about South Africa or Rhodesia. What was exciting for you to capture there?
Number one, the wildlife.
Yes.
Have
Oh my God.
Raj, our last 10 years in Africa, we were on a 25,000 acre cattle and game ranch.
Oh my gosh.
So we lived with the wildlife, and it's embedded in your heart quite deeply.
Mm,
So when we go back to visit Africa, it's going back to the wildlife.
mm,
This is an experience that's been very, very dear to us. Um, I think whether you're in India, whether you're in Africa, even in the States, even in Canada, the diverse cultures offer up their own photographic subject matter. And so, yes, so whether it's wildlife, number one, would you say, Clay, for
Yeah,
Africa?
number one was wildlife, and then followed by the people if you're in a foreign country. Um,
mhm,
but photography, you said what is most exciting. We've had enjoyable as opposed to exciting. If you go and do wildlife in Africa and it gets exciting, you're on the wrong side. You haven't calculated your journey correctly because the exciting things there is when elephants change their mood and attack you, or lions get ugly. There was a case in the newspaper yesterday of two ladies in Zambia went on a foot safari. Now, being an African myself by birth, I understand the language. I would have never gone in a wildlife park on a foot safari because I know of all the challenges that face you in the field, from scorpions to elephants, lions, and these two ladies were killed. The
Oh
elephant,
my gosh.
somehow there was a baby elephant involved, and you do not do that in Africa because the mama elephant, she gets very ugly very quickly.
Yep.
A very good friend of ours was killed by an elephant too. So all
Oh,
our
wow.
safari stuff has been, because of my knowledge of the bush, has been from a vehicle. There's no good
Okay.
being crazy and stupid at the same time.
Yeah.
So when you're in a vehicle, you're not opening yourself to that challenge of an animal attacking you, because animals view a vehicle as a non-descriptive item. And if you do it correctly, like we have big cameras with big lenses, you don't have to go too near the animals. We take our pictures from far away so as not to disturb the animals. And it's the
Right.
little people who go with cell phones and small little cameras, and they want a picture of a lion and they want it from 10 feet away. That's when you're getting in the face of the lion and it gets ugly quickly. So you've got to think of the situation, and we have bought the equipment enough that we can work with it so that you can take it from far away and get the same results. That's balancing the pros and cons. You don't use the same cameras in the city when you're doing the landscape or people.
So
that's
viewers,
where-
at the end of our podcast, and on YouTube and anywhere where you're going to be watching this, we'll give you their website where you can go and see some of these photographs. And Raj, I was looking at them last night, some of the wildlife photographs, and they're amazing. Wow. I totally love them. So I'm sure everyone watching this podcast will want to go and take a look at those photos. But for now, we're going to pause, and we're going to come back for part 2 with Gill and Clay Ross on the topic of photography. Be right back.